So we've got Rodriguez, Hoods Quality Foods, Nick Carter, Media Master, Pier 57, Daytona Performance, and Lady Sarah. And we are raring to go here, just moments away from the green as the boats are lining up behind the pace boat. And we've got a green flag now for race number 2 here at the second annual Daytona Harley-Davidson Offshore Grand Prix. Everyone off to a great start. There's Lady Sarah, Daytona Performance, Pier 57, and Media Master all in the shot, and everyone right behind. Everyone off to a great start. Nick Carter going to the front. Nick Carter Racing. Rodriguez, It's Quality Foods, they are all indoor. Great start for race number 2. There you see Nick Carter, edging you now a little bit. Your early leader in these early moments of race number 2. Everyone right behind, though. Great racing going on here in Daytona Beach. Let's go on board Nick Carter Racing now with Steve Oropesa and Lee Murray at the start. Let's listen to those Mercury engines as they rev up and start the race. Powered by two 800 horsepower Mercury inboards, 40-foot fountain. Steve Oropesa, the driver, Lee Murray, the throttle man. They are from Key West. Great start for this boat and the rest of the competitors as well. Rear shot aboard Nick Carter Racing. 2 onboard cameras on board Nick Carter. Of course, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. All right, back to a helicopter shot, and there the lineup at the early moments of this race. Right after the green, there you see Nick Carter shooting out, your early leader. Steve Oropesa and Lee Murray on board the 40-foot fountain Nick Carter Racing. They are all in the mix. All these boats off to a great start. There you see Media Master right on the outside of Nick Carter Racing. A real battle going on there. There's It's Quality Foods on the inside with Mitch Miller and Matt Rice, driver and throttle man. Of course, Nick Carter, your leader, with Media Master on the outside. We go with Nick Carter Racing now. Nick Carter Racing in Super V. V-bottom boats, a 40-foot fountain. Steve Oropesa is the driver, Lee Murray, the throttle man. They're both from Key West, Florida. This boat is Mercury powered with a set of 800 horsepower Mercury inboards. Nick Carter Racing. Round the turn. Rear shot. There's Pier 57 up front. Pier 57 in Super V Light Factory 2 class. Nick Carter in Super V. Special thanks to the Blue Marlin Hotel in Key West, as well as the Hog's Breath Saloon. Hog's Breath is better than no breath at all. Pier 57 on the outside, Nick Carter Racing on the inside. Steve Oropesa and Lee Murray. Nice jump there by Nick Carter Racing. Let's go on board Nick Carter Racing. There's Steve Oropesa, the driver. Steve from Key West, Florida. There's Pier 57 on the right side. "22 onboard cameras provided by Freeze Frame Video for this event here in Daytona Beach." Vector helicopter shot, Pier 57 on the outside. On the inside, Nick Carter Racing. Hurry on board Nick Carter, 40-foot fountain. They're from Key West, Florida, and you're a leader right now in Super Big. In first place in Super Big. Nice driving there by Steve Oropesa. In first place, Nick Carter Racing. Giving the high sign there, the victory sign. Slowing down. Nick Carter Racing in first place there in Super V, your winner. Checkered flag for Nick Carter Racing. To the immediate lead, followed by Media Master. It's Nick Carter Racing and Media Master 1 and 2, followed by Utz Quality Foods on the far outside. Nick Carter Racing, 40-foot fountain. And there's Media Master and Utz Quality Foods on the far outside. Super V off to a great start here in Savannah. There's Phoenix Waste in the middle. And Pier 57 on the inside. But number one, it's Nick Carter Racing, 40-foot fountain, Mercury powered. Nick Carter Racing followed by Media Master and Utz Quality Foods. Here in the Super V start just moments ago, got it going. Korean boards. Steve Arpisa is the driver. Lee Murray, the throttleman. They're from Key West, Florida. Nick Carter Racing, that blue boat on the inside. By the way, on the outside there is Team Donzie. Apparently it's back in the race, picked up some speed. Having some power problems, but they're back in the race for the moment. Team Donzie on the outside. Now, Nick Carter Racing, I'd like to give a special thanks to Daryl, the crew chief, and also Hog's Breath Saloon in Key West, of course. Hog's Breath is better than no breath at all. And we will be there in Key West later on for the World Championships in Key West later this year for the APBA. Number one, Nick Carter Racing, Super V. Other competitors in Super V, we got Phoenix Waste and Media Master. Nick Carter, though, number one right now in first place in Super V. Many spectators there in the background along the seashore here in Savannah. Let's go on board now, Nick Carter Racing. Steve Arpisa at the wheel, Lee Murray on throttle. Steve Arpisa doing a fine job. On board Nick Carter Racing, your leader in Super V. And there's Nick Carter Racing. Nick Carter Racing, 40-foot fountain. Steve Oropesa, the driver. Lee Murray, the throttle man. They're from Key West, Florida. Number 1 in Super V, Nick Carter Racing. Special thanks to the Hawks Bread Saloon in Key West and the Hampton Inn for the fine accommodations right here in Georgia. Nick Carter Racing, your leader in Super V. Steve Oropesa and Lee Murray from Key West on board. Driver and throttle man. This race is winding down now, the end of race number 2. After it's over, we'll give you the final results of race 1 from yesterday and, of course, today's race. Nick Carter Racing, Mercury powered. There's Team Donzie coming in there on the left side. Team Donzie coming all the way from behind to win the checkered flag, be your winner in Factory 2 there on the left side, going to the left. And on the right side, we got Nick Carter Racing, has one more lap to go. We'll get the checkered flag in Super V. So first in class in their respective classes. That is the end of race number 2. There you see the many beachgoers and spectators. Great vantage point for these spectators for this race number 2 here in Savannah, Georgia. Great vantage point. Of course, the shorter race course made it all possible. They were able to see the whole race all the time. Beautiful day here in Savannah. Very shortly, the final results for you in race number 2. We got one more to go this afternoon. Some 80 competitors in all competing in this event, this 3-race event here in Savannah. The first race here, the inaugural Savannah Offshore Grand Prix. Hope to be here for many, many years to come. All right, in Super V, Nick Carter Racing getting the checker flag we just saw a little while ago. With Phoenix Waste in second and Media Master in third, Nick Carter Racing getting the checkered flag in Super V class. In the Super V light class, a light twin, Pier 57 Stainless Marine in first, followed by Utz Quality Foods, Castaway, and Rodriguez Group bringing up third place. Pier 57, the checkered flag in Super V class light. And here now the boats beginning to line up following the pace boat, and we got some of the competitors for you in the Super V. We got Nick Carter Racing, Media Master, High Noon Racing, Odie Extreme, Fury. Also, Utz Quality Foods, Lucas Oil, Pier 57, and Rodriguez Group. Lots and lots of competitors for you in race number 2, the Super V boats and the Factory 2. Boats beginning to spread out, as you can see now, getting ready for that green flag. More boats coming up. There's Media Master on the inside. Fury right alongside. Nick Carter Racing. And Lucas Oil all in the mix there as we await the green. And we've got a green flag now here in race number 2 at the Cleveland Offshore Grand Prix. And on the inside, it's Media Master, then Nick Carter Racing, Lucas Oil, Rodriguez Group, and it's Quality Foods in the early moments of this race. Nick Carter and Media Master in a battle here in the early moments. 1 and 2, Nick Carter and Media Master. Media Master on the inside, looking downfield. There we see Rodriguez Group and Utz Quality Foods. Media Master and Nick Carter, your early leaders here. Media Master on the inside, 37-foot out of the limits. Mercury-powered Matt Beck and Greg Quirk on board. Steve Orifice is the driver. Lee Murray is the throttleman. They're from Key West, Florida. Nick Carter Racing took a first place in Daytona, third in Marathon, first in Cape Cod, and first in Savannah, currently in first place in the national point standings. Steve Orifice and Lee Murray on board. Nick Carter Racing. Special thanks to the Hard Rock Cafe, Nick Carter, Murray Marine, Darrell Simmon, the crew chief, and his people, and also Art the lead. Nick Carter Racing, currently in first place in the national point standings. Nick Carter Racing in first place in Super V. Race number 2.